And guess what? To top it all off, we've got AJ Moye here. I always brag on, well, for one thing, AJ, you're one of my two favorite sports pictures of all time. The first one is Muhammad Ali when he's standing over Sonny Liston in that famous picture. And people don't realize he's actually saying, get up, and they just caught him in that phrase, in that pose, was what that picture is. But the other one, of course, is you blocking Carlos Boozer in that 2002 game against Duke in Lexington's Rupp Arena, 6'8" Carlos Boozer. That I've told you this every time you're on. I would have that made into wallpaper, and my house would just be wallpapered with that thing just on a loop over and over. That's just a badass picture.
I think I'm gonna put it up in my office, man. I don't know. I may put it in the corner where not too many people can see it, but.
Dude, I'd be selling that thing.
Yeah, that was a great moment in time, great moment in sports history.
And he's got a set of twins that
they're awesome.
Maybe somebody you should be recruiting. Maybe they are tearing it up.
Recruited? I know it's getting the only. I think it's almost a foregone conclusion that the one that was just National Player of the Year as a sophomore, I think he's going to do. I think it's foregone.
Absolutely. AJ just recently became an assistant coach at Valpo, if you don't know. And becoming a coach has been something you've been wanting to do for a long time. You've been working in basketball, been training since, 2011?
Yeah, since I retired, I've been training. I've also coached high school basketball. I put about, 13, 14 guys, Division I, and won a CIF championship in California, and a couple of them actually. And then, so I've been doing that, but mainly I've just been working at the Mama Sports Academy and just training everyone, pros to college All-Americans. Jaime Jaquez was just one of mine. I had Jaime since he was like 13, 14, so it was real cool watching him become All-American, Pac-12 Player of the Year. So, just working with guys.
Yeah, Jaime Jaquez has had an unbelievable career for Mick Cronin at UCLA, and they've been everything that UCLA's been doing of late, he's been right in the middle of. So that is obviously great to see. And working at the Mamba Academy, former Kobe Bryant's academy, that in the early, were you able to work with him in the beginning before he passed?
Oh yeah. I mean, but people don't know this, but so I met Kobe when I was like 13. The NBA Summer League used to be in Long Beach. So in the summers, I used to always spend the summers with my father. And so I told my father, I said, man, the Lakers just got this 17-year-old kid, Kobe Bryant. I want to see him. So he took me down there and I saw him play his first Summer League game. And he had like 31 points. And then I remember after the game, he was talking and they're like, well, Kobe, man, you were so great. And we hear your work ethic is legendary, and this and this and this. And he was like, yeah, it's true. But he said, my thing is I believe in myself. And he said, if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will, right? And he said that, and that just kind of sparked the light in me. So, I met him again when I was 17 at ABCD camp in Teaneck, New Jersey, right? But it was an Adidas camp, and back then he was signed with Adidas. So he came and talked to like the top 10 of us there. And from then we just formed a good bond. So we were actually open like a year or maybe year and a half. And then, Kobe came down. And I talked to him about it, and I said, man, you should really consider investing in this. And I'm sure our whole staff was selling them, but he ended up buying a piece of it. And then from then on, we developed a very strong bond. I used to go and help assistant coach with his girls team on practices and stuff. So, he was a good friend of mine, and I love him and miss him dearly.
I can only imagine, but I didn't know that you guys already had that up and running, and he came in. So that's pretty good. That has to make it even better. The impact that he made, not only on you but on others, we've seen, because it's people truly still miss him for so many reasons. The lives that he touched.
Yeah, he made the world a better place, man. And I feel like as human beings, that's all this life's really about. Like you find what you're passionate about, you find what you have a niche for, and then you work at it, you develop it, you grow it, and then not only that, you share it, right? And then through sharing it and through being one that can be giving and one that's passionate about something, you end up inspiring generations to come and generations that are already existing. So it's pretty cool.
So now you make the move from the comfortable confines of Southern California, Los Angeles, where it's 78 degrees every day, to Valpo, and that's cold, man. That's cold. That's too cold for me. We're down here in Bloomington, and I grew up in Southern Indiana, which to me is south of here, down closer to Louisville. And I remember when I went to school at IU, the temperature difference. I'm like, that's BS, man. That's cold. So I don't even want to think about being up there in Valpo in those January days. But man, that's part of, you have been wanting to get this journey started into actual coaching. And this is your first collegiate coaching job. And so people go wherever you have to go. And obviously that's what you do. And how did this come about, first of all, this particular opportunity?
No, for one, let me start. Like in Indiana, man, this is where I wanted to be, man. I don't care from the northern point of the state to the southern part to the eastern to the western, right hemisphere, whatever. I love Indiana, man. So this is always where I wanted to be. Believe it or not, this sounds crazy, right? Whenever I would have a break of any kind from work, I would always go to Indiana. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, hey, you want to go to Indiana? So I could go anywhere in the world, but it was always Indiana.
Now, isn't your wife from Indiana?
Yeah, she's from Southport. So I got this job, because Roger Powell, right? He was at Illinois when I was at Indiana, So,
right.
He won a Big Ten. He got to the Final Four. He got to the championship. So did I. And so we always had a healthy rivalry because, we're similar. He's taller a little bit, but we played kind of the same way. And so we really got after it. He told me a story that I didn't even know. I'm just nuts. He said it was a loose ball when I played him in a tournament. I think it was my junior or my senior year. And he said we dove for the loose ball. And he said I gave him a concussion. And when he told me the story, I immediately remembered. But like during games, I don't have friends. I don't have anything. It's just I gotta win. So I do remember him being like unconscious a little bit and then getting off the floor. But I didn't even realize that it was because he hit me. But I got the ball. But and then what was real cool about it, we both went pro after that. And I think we might have played 9 or 8 years went by. And then we were on the same team at the end of our careers. And then, I hate to say it, I had that stroke, remember?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had that stroke. I'd probably still be playing basketball. I'm so crazy that I love basketball so much and I love playing so much. It's ridiculous. But, yeah. It forced me to kind of look at life differently, especially since I had a daughter, and I just started slowing down a bit. And then Roger told me, he was telling me about how he was going to jump into coaching with Bryce Drew. And I told him, man, that's a good idea, good luck. But me and Roger, we always kept contact. So we would always talk anywhere from 4 to 6 times every year. And then our faith is the common denominator with both of us. We're strong believers in his love, his word, his passion, and we passionately love Christ. So we had that bond, and then it was just, man, it happened like 2 weeks ago. I still remember it. It was Saturday, like 2 weeks ago. He calls me. He's like, "Hey man, what's up?" And I had got up like 6 in the morning. because my son wakes up at 6:50, 6:40. I got him some breakfast and set him down. Bella comes creeping around the corner, my 4-year-old Bella. I said, all right, get her some breakfast. And then I put her down. And then my wife wakes up about an hour later, and she comes in with our youngest daughter, Lola. And Lola's only like 4 weeks old. So she was like maybe a week old then. And then, Roger calls. He's like, hey, man, what's up? I'm like, well, I'm just, getting breakfast for everyone and just sitting down. And then he's like, I've been praying every day for about 6 days straight. And he says, every time I pray, and I say the prayer, and he said, because I was praying about who to fill my staff with, he said, I keep coming back to you. And I'm like, what? And he's like, hey, man, if you would love it, I would love to have you on my staff. And I was just like, wow, wow, wow. I was saying wow, kind of regurgitating wow over and over. And my wife's like, what? And I'm like, I'm going to Indiana, I told her about it, the position. And so I immediately took the position. I immediately took it because I passionately and glowingly and just, I love basketball. And I always wanted to coach in college. And I always wanted to coach in Indiana, you know what I mean? So I really feel that, man, God answered a prayer, and God provided me with an opportunity. So I've just been trying to fulfill that purpose.
You talk about the toughness that everyone remembers that you played with. Dane Fife, you can think of guys like that as well. But is that toughness missing in today's players, or were you guys just too crazy?
Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword. I think the answer is in what you said. I think we were. I don't even know if we were crazy, but it comes down to Coach Knight again with his great. And he was telling me about the team, and he was like, Coach Knight recruited certain type of guys, So he knew he had a good pulse of his team always, and he always knew. He wasn't so much a fan of like, I'm gonna go get the athlete or get this guy that can, windmill and touch his ankles. Coach Knight was like, oh, this guy sprints everywhere. Oh, this guy hustles everywhere. Oh, this guy dives for everything. Oh, this guy just got a rebound. He just got a block shot, turn the ball.
AJ Moye. There we go.
So with Coach Knight, that was Coach Knight's like biggest thing. He knew what he wanted. But yeah, I feel that with the toughness, I know for a fact I'm gonna bring that out of guys. Because it's not so much toughness, it's the discipline, right? Because you have to be disciplined in order to be tough, right? So it's the discipline, and then it has to do with the work ethic. So if you get the discipline and the work ethic aligned, toughness kind of comes out of that because of that. Because if all you do is work hard and all you do is do what you need to do appropriately, then you'll find that things tend to open up.